Come on.
Okay, folks, I don't know if you can hear me. This is Westside Vandal. As you can tell, I've taken the restream over. It looks like Math Girls had some sort of power outage or other issue. Yes, I'm aware the windows are badly cropped right now, but I'm working on getting them back up ASAP. Please bear with the technical issues as we get everything set back up to where it was. Thank you for your patience. Sorry about this, folks. We will get everything back up as soon as possible. I'm going to go on mute while I get everything fixed. Ricky is still here, and thank you again for your patience.
So, welcome back, everybody. Rascal did Thieves Town, got his glove. He's heading up Super Bunny Cave right now. Rick is in pod, full clearing it. Looks like he did Swamp Palace in the time we were down. Rascal checked Turtle Rock, but we didn't see it. That's okay. Rascal going into Hookshot Cave. 300 rupees. Sounds like a lot of money. And more money. So let's give a big hand to to Westside and iBot for helping us out. I can't say his name. Tamamouch. Sorry, I completely butchered that. For getting the trackers updated. Amaranth for jumping in to help. Got a great team working behind the scenes here. Technical difficulties won't stand a chance. Nothing in the Meyer shed looked like. Desert Palace was boots locked, but we got the boots early, so not a problem.
Hey Ricky, I brought Leslie in here for you.
Thank you so much. Welcome, Leslie, to the comms.
Good evening, everybody. Bit of a short notice, but hey, sometimes technical issues do crop up. Now, I have been keeping up with the multi-twitch since stream went down initially. I can tell you that Rick came up with the ice rod out of left side swamp palace, and knowing that Turtle Rock's a 5-6 crystal, that's gonna be absolutely necessary for this scene to be done. The one question we don't have is, fire rod.
Rick finishes off pod. Helmosaur is down. And that was a pendant. So, funny thing is, Rick can go do a blind pedestal pull if he wants. He has all 3 pendants.
Based off of what we've seen so far, that could be either Fire Rod or Penis Samar.
Indeed.
I don't think it was just Green Pendant. Yesterday's open weekly race had a ball in the bomb room.
Yeah, that
So-
burned me.
Yeah, there were a number of folks who got burned by that. I got burned by Fire Rust. That's another story for another time. Looks like Rascal opting for tempered spins to take down the Lambos. Good strat. As Rick is almost at the Armos Knights, this will be a nice crystal pickup.
Which will put him at 2 crystals to Rascal's 3.
Admittedly, I'd say Rick is positioned better in terms of progression because
Oh, yeah.
he's got the hammer as well as the Titan's Myths. He routed that perfectly. And speaking of Canis Samaria, we just found that in the desert.
In Desert Palace. Yeah, so Rascal needs to get the catfish for that hammer. But, which I'm a little confused because he looks like he did the Zora for Titan's Myth.
Yeah, he did not route that in. Maybe he forgot about it. Hard to say. Checkerboard was a
Was
piece
a heart
of art,
piece.
and Rick is going right into Ice Palace, which with Bombos is a viable option. So we've got Rascal in back of Escape. Not
Which
sure
is
who.
not gonna be good.
Yeah, that's the GT map and compass plus a small key for the Dark Cross. And that is a bottle of green goo for Rick. Probably a good dungeon to find one of those in. Rascal's heading into Dark World West part, so see what this leads to. As Rick sets up the Stalfos. Yeah, can confirm we do have full pendant and crystal information. The remaining pendants are Pod and Swamp, with 5-6 being Hera and TR, everything else being a crystal, as Rick is setting up for an Ice Palace bomb jump, which he hits first try.
Nice.
Now we get to see what is the reward is for bringing the blacksmith home. 20
Money.
rupees. Now Rascal's taking the purple chest, can't do hammer pegs, hasn't been to catfish yet. Rascal's on the run without the chest. This could be some sort of glitch that he's gonna take advantage of.
Yeah. If he mirrors right next to the Gary or whatever his name is, it triggers. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that once before, so I knew what he was trying for. Rick picking up half magic in the Ice Palace big chest. Consider the dungeon you're in. That is an outstanding find.
Indeed. Rascal looks like he's gonna dip into Swamp Palace, but without the hammer, he can only do two chests. Well, one chest.
Yeah, the first one's always going to have a small key in non-key shuffle logics. The second chest will be the variable here. So that's a piece of heart for Rick as he sets up for another bomb jump and hits it. Let's see what this one check has. Now we know that's a big 20. It is unfortunate that Rascal does not have the hammer here, because as I noted as we came back on the air, the ice rod is in left side swamp, so not having hammer there is especially painful. Rascal's heading up to Catfish, and not sure how this is going to be received, admittedly.
No, I think he might be last locationing it at this point, so that can't feel good.
Oh, it never does. I mean, heck, even yesterday it didn't feel good, I'll say that much. Yeah, we're just gonna leave that there.
Oh, I didn't know you could push the block
Because
on the
now
side.
Rick is about to head off to take on Cold Stare with combos. Yeah, this Catfish is going to feel. And as he mirrors to that location, he just looks left and gives Catfish one heck of a stink eye. I mean, to be fair, you probably do the same thing in that situation.
Oh, yeah.
Butter Sword makes Cold Stare trivial if you get him up into that corner. So what is Rick's next move? Scouting Desert Ledge, and looks like we're about to have a bit of a reversal. I think he's going to pull Ped. Hey, bless RNG's in chat. It's be a good time for it.
Interesting that he's doing it without doing Desert Palace first. But I mean, you know, he has all three pendants. I just probably would have last locationed it.
Moment of truth.
It's 20 rupees.
Womp, 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 womp. I'm sorry, the Price is Right has been a part of my life ever since I was a kid, so yeah. For the fans, that is also a disappointed! Looks like we're about to get ourselves the full blacksmith chain from Rick, and that's also going to include hammer pegs. As Rascal working through Ice Palace. I believe that's a gift emote as part of Twitch's Valentine's Day event. As for hammer pegs, it was the fire shield, which Rick is opting to pass on.
Rascal gets his half magic. And Rick gets his 20 rupee from the blacksmith.
So we know what's at the smith chain and at its end, but the real question is, what's next after that? Does Rick... I don't think Rick has Canis Samaria yet, so...
No, he doesn't have Desert Palace cleared, so... probably doesn't have Canis Samaria. I don't think he's stepped in there yet.
Nah, he'd have to go there to get that then.
And with his item collection at this point, he could do Desert Palace and Mire back to back.
True, if he were... True, but he has to do Desert first.
Right.
Yeah, that does make sense. As a rando runner, you really do not want to get burned by the same thing twice.
Indeed. Yep, and there's the Desert play. Desert Mire.
I didn't get a good look at what the medallion was to enter Mire.
No, but he has all three.
So it's relatively minor detail. Yeah, when you run any video game, even the randomizers, yeah, you pick things up that are out of habit and they just get ingrained into muscle memory. Rascal taking down Cold Stare, nicely done. And Rick's going to Desert. This play is going to work out for him, as this will lead him to Canis Samaria, which he can then turn right back around and go right into Misery Mire, which, as equipped, I don't think Vitreous would be too much of a problem. Judging by this, Rascal could be heading to Swamp Palace.
Hopefully he does. He needs an ice rod.
Yeah, it's actually the other rod that we need today, strangely enough. It's a fire rod hunt, not an ice
Right?
rod hunt.
How often do you see that?
Not really. I mean, we've seen an ice rod hunt so many times. Dr. Bob Tastic has a song regarding that on SoundCloud.
Pedestal was 20 rupees. Rick about to get his Cane of Samaria.
So I do have to ask, was there anything else of value inside of Swamp Palace? Outside of Ice Road?
I'm not sure. Perhaps the Butter Sword? Because Rick has
That's
it
the
and
only thing.
Rascal doesn't.
Wes, our restreamer who stepped in for Math Girl, says that it was Butter Sword, as we've got that aforementioned song now linked in chat.
Which is awesome, by the way.
It is, and there's Dr. Bob's got all sorts of awesome stuff on. Quake was. It was Hera, yeah, it was. And Rick's going for Ice Rod Strax, which does the same amount of damage as the Butter.
Oh, I think Rascal just skipped left side swamp.
Oh no. That is the absolute worst case scenario in this scenario. Because he doesn't know it, but we know that the Ice Rod's there.
Rick completes Desert Palace, gets that crystal.
Hopefully he's just doing map first. Yeah, when you include Map Compass Shuffle, it tends to become a safe bet to be thorough, I find. And it was the waterfall chest for the Butter Sword. As well as quite to get in the map. As Rascal takes on Argus, this is gonna be quick as he's set up for a phase 1 quick kill. Down go the puffs. And without either rod, it's gonna spin twice to take down phase 2. Hey, it has its uses outside of vanilla, like I found myself shooting the jellies with the ice rod in today's 2 p.m. Enemizer. Because yeah, it does have its uses. I just haven't found them. Spike chests a small key as Rascal's back in Swamp Palace.
Good, good.
Play he has to make here.
And the
And
mushroom.
the first yeah, a mushroom that's fire locked. I'd be suspicious of that
Very.
personally, but Rick is skipping the cutscene chest for now. And he just found the big key, so he may not go back there.
Yeah.
Or he's gonna go back that way to make us fail. Let's just say anyone who thought he was gonna skip that was just debated, myself included. Chat pointing out that fake powder's now in play. Now, the way Rick's pushing the blocks here is understandable. You might not think there's enough time without pushing the blocks, but what I've found is that you can push the first 2 sets of blocks in one room. And then after you push them both, light those torches, go into the other room, quickly do that push sequence, light those torches. It's a tight window, yes it is, but my point is, it can be done. And Rascal has the ice rod.
Oh, just a compass for all Rick's troubles in that. Rascal heading back to pod to full clear it. I believe.
Hammer was a catfish hydropower, so I would call that more or less a dirty place for it to be. Especially considering that on the other side, there were Titan's nets. And it looks like we are going to have something on Vitreous. Although I have to put this out there, let's just speak theoreticals here. If Fire Rod's not here, that leaves the only locations we know of. One check in Turtle Rock. Not the Hammer Pegs, the Graveyard Ledge. Or it could be a repeat of yesterday's Weekly and be French Vanilla or Vanilla, unless that was checked and I didn't see that. So where will it be? Rick's first shot with the Cane of Samaria block was blocked. So, yes, to set another one, no big deal.
So the only thing in Meyer was the mushroom, correct?
Correct, and it's not sure if we're not sure if fake powder could come into play. Which, if it does come into play, then that means the powder itself is very close. As Rick is taking on Vitreous, trying to use an NMG strap, but gets fried. Has a fairy, though. Rascal taking on Helmasaur King. Thankful to see a Helmasaur King fight in its vanilla habitat, I am, because the 2 PM daily had one on ice and at Moldorm 2. The one on ice was disgusting, I'll say that much.
It sounds disgusting. Both runners finish up their bosses real fast. Rick getting his fifth crystal.
Yep, so number 5 for Rick, 4 for Rascal. And it looks like we're getting a mushroom turn in. I'm surprised he's not going for the fake powder first, because this takes fake powder off the table.
Right. It's the
Except
fire
it
rod!
doesn't matter because that's the fire rod! Rick hits go mode on a fetch quest.
At 1 hour, 34 minutes, like 40 seconds.
Rick is beelining it to Skull Woods, understandably so. Rascal is in the right neighborhood, he just doesn't know it yet.
Yeah, Rick is ahead by Meyer, basically.
It was routing in the mid-game that helped put Rick ahead, coming up with both Hammer and Titans mix back-to-back. That optimized play really saved him a huge amount of time.
Yes, it did.
Rick's approaching Mothfila, Rascal's approaching the Go Mode fetch quest item, but he's not going to know it until he turns it in.
And Buttersword takes Moth down easy.
That was an excellent moth fight from Rick, as now he's on his way to Turtle Rock. And Zelga in chat brings up a point. Rick really needs to watch his arrow count. 2 is not going to be enough for GT. Well, Wes, I could also picture that happening, but Rick's not doing that. And Rick's been dead rocked, and now
Gotta
I've
love
got
those
another.
things.
Yeah, now I've got another Dr. Bob tune in mind. Everybody wants to kill those squirrels. So, the reason that this music is playing is that the flag set is a map compass shuffle. Key sanity modes and map compass shuffle randomize the music for the dungeons as well. Let's just say it's a pretty cool way to keep us on our toes.
Rick entering Turtle Rock.
Down goes Vitreous as Rick has started Turtle Rock.
So Rascal needs to do the mushroom turn-in, though I can't imagine he has any other checks left at this point.
There is fake powder, which isn't a bad idea, but... Oh wait, he's gonna pull Pedestal and be disappointed.
Oh.
Rick having some trouble with the pokey, but takes it down.
Ouch, having trouble with the chomps now.
Yeah, got run over by a chain chomp. Turn the mushroom in, and that's her fire rod. So in this seed, the lamp was the key to getting the fire rod.
Right? Fire source locked behind a fire source.
Wouldn't be the first time in a Zelda randomizer.
Lamp was on Paradox Cave, I believe. Not the cutscene chest. Mushroom was in the other Meyer chest behind the fire.
No worries, those things happen. And our big chest item is a bug net.
Whoops.
I think that was an intentional step off to avoid getting grabbed by a wall master.
Ah.
3 bombs in the crystal roller chest. I was hoping for arrows there. Who knows? Yeah, basically what was said, I'm not repeating. As Rick's gonna have to head to Laser Bridge.
Well, Rascal.
Sometimes, even in Go mode, Turtle Rock does this as Rascal's about to take on Mothula.
And in the time it took you to say that.
Rick takes a drink. There's the powder. And Rick gets shot off another load.
There's the
There's
key.
the key. And that's it. He's not going to check anything else, even if he picks up arrows. Rascal is in a better position arrow-wise. Rick's the one that absolutely needs him in the worst way imaginable. And the enemies aren't dropping.
Rick entering his next fight, while Rascal makes his way up to Turtle Rock.
Unfortunately, Rick having to menu back to Ice Rod. That's going to be another few seconds there that Rascal can make up there. But in the meantime, that's phase 1, and that is not a good position for phase 2 to begin. With that, phase 2 is done, and Wes is all over. I'm still sticking with A, because with our runner's arrow situation, I don't want either one to have to deal with Ice Armos.
Right.
I'm being merciful here.
I'm going with 3. So, Rick leaves Turtle Rock as Rascal enters it, high-fiving each other.
Although, speaking of Armos, the daily seed, I had a rather improvised kill in Mire. Because I was low on arrows, so yeah, things could happen in that regard, hopefully not. As speaking of arrows, there's 10 for Rick.
Nice.
No key, so he's gotta go left.
Small key on
No
the
pop
torch.
today.
So that was the 3rd check, so I'm out of the game.
It happens. I mean, it could still be number 4. Ten more arrows at 4, 5 a small key, so arrow-wise, the runners are getting bailed out. 6 I didn't see, 7 was the Book of Medora. I think the only thing that could really be blocking at this point would be the silvers, and that would just be disgusting, but we're set sword-wise.
Right.
But even so, disgusting.
6 was the Cane of Berna.
Ah. Well, 8 was another small key, so not me.
Oof. Hook shot.
Oh, unfortunate break there for Rick, attaching to the block. I know he wasn't intending on it. He was trying to avoid fire snake damage, but the game doesn't know that. I think Rick was dropping a few rage bombs in his path as a result. So it wasn't 12, wasn't 13. We could be looking at Ice Armos here. Rascal gets the bombs out of the crystal roller chest.
And does not seem happy that he has to do Laser Bridge.
Well, to be fair, that's understandable, because I've had seats where I don't want to deal with Laser Bridge, and guess what? I have to deal with Laser Bridge.
Yeah, I never want to
Speaking
deal
of
with Laser.
Understandable. And now we get an Ice Armos visit. So the two chests that Rick didn't open had a heart container with 5 rupees.
Magic cape and a bottle. Oh wow. Think he's on the right side then.
Yeah, this sort of seemed like this honestly seemed like a potential dark magician. Oh, goodness. Rascal getting hecked by his own Tina Samaria block there. Rascal taking on Trinex. Much cleaner phase 1 from Rascal as Rick gets a 10 arrow drop from a Gibdo. Not 18, 3 bombs, 19, 10 more arrows, 20.
No. Oh
It is
no,
a
it's
tile
tile
room.
room! Wow!
Yeah, this is a case of where the game's like, I know you've had it hard, but you know what? Too bad, we're making it a little harder anyway.
Yeah.
Good strategy by Rick to just use the cape and grab the wall, because in this position, magic doesn't drain at all. And with that, Rick's got the key. He's on his way.
And Rascal going to the left side.
It's understandable because it's so rare that the key is in the tile room that
Yeah.
even rarer are gambles of the tile room. It's such a huge gamble that generally not worth it, but if anybody wanted to, this would have been the seed to do that. Is the BMOs are giving Rick the business.
Oh, well, Rascal just pulled out the mirror.
Yeah, this does appear to be a dark magician variant. Well, can't say I know for sure what goes through the runner's minds at this point in time. Let's see what he's got planned. Proceeding through to the right side.
In the meantime, Rick's making his way through the gauntlet.
Although at this point it's worth me mentioning that silvers could be in the big key inside the big chest itself. With honestly how this seed's played with the big key, I wouldn't be surprised.
Mm-hmm. No, chat, this was not a pedestal seed.
Yeah, they had the pendants to pull the peds, so they just did the blind pull anyway, only to pull out couch cash. Yeah, so they basically did in all dungeons, but they did not need to do the ped.
Right. Actually, of the pendant dungeons, Swamp and Thieves Town were required. Was Pod required? I don't remember.
I'll defer that one to chat. Because I'm not sure. I only got to see where Swamp was required.
Ah, chat's telling us Bumbles was in Pod, so this was an all-dungeon seed, basically. Well,
There was with the route they took, it was required. If they had done Mire and gotten the Fire Rod, then probably
that's
not.
true.
But move away. And yeah, it was Ice Rod in the big key chest, left side swamp. So those are arrows in Moldworm's last possession, but they ain't the silver ones.
Oh my goodness.
I think he wanted silver-tipped ones at that point, but that's just me. Meanwhile, how's the agonometry?
Woo!
Nice triple! Ooh, this could be setting it up. And yes!
Whoa!
A double triple for AdirondackRick as he is off to Ganon!
Wow. Arusta, I believe there was also Thieves Town Big Chest.
Rascals realized the bad news and is off to get the big key, and... Well, honestly, Ganon's text, that's the first text I saw in the first randomizer seed I watched. Many more variations of text have been added, but that one to me always stands out for that reason.
Makes quick work of the first two phases.
Just had to wait for the wall master to clear the area for the chest to spawn in. It was the big chest! Are you kidding me? Wow, game, you are on one tonight, because that's just mean right there, to put the big key there, and then the silver's in the big chest.
Oof, and Rick missed the torch glitch, so he's got to light both torches while doing silverless strats.
It's 12 spins. but it's very doable. Can't be much left for Ganon. Switched over to Lantern Strats to preserve that, but it doesn't.
And there it was.
There it is. We got Bacon is down goes Ganon. And with that, just one more 1x3 to go. And with that, we can say that our winner is AdirondackRick, forcing a Game 3 in this series at a date to be determined with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 29 seconds.
GG's.
And with that, we are joined by AdirondackRick. GG, Rick.
Thank you.
Good game. Good game.
Thank you.
That was quite the scene, and I came into this race midway as Wes stepped in for restream duties as we had some technical difficulties happen, but that happens sometimes. As for the seed itself, I was reading the IRC that neither of you had the money for the glove on King Zora. But what turned this race was when you went back there, Rick, you also went and got Catfish, then mirrored. That little bit of optimized routing.
Yeah, I knew at that point when I was going to go to Catfish, the idea at that point was I really wanted to check glove blocked locations, and Catfish was the first thing that came to mind once I got the gloves off Sahashwala there, and I'm like, okay, let's see, what do these gloves get me? Oh, hi there, Hammer. How you doing? I don't want to leave Zora behind as a loose square, so let's make sure that we pay him the 500 rupees. And oh, hi, Timesmith.
That Zora, it's a scam when it's nothing, and when it's something you really need, it feels like the old reversal scam.
This really felt like a weird seed in all at the very, very beginning of this. Like, what do we do? The flippers sent me aside for a little bit, but then I should have realized that the ultimate goal of those flippers was to get me access to more in the Dark World once after I finish off Aghanim. I wish I got a little bit more than just a map, a compass, and a key out of the back three of Escape, which was the sequence break at that point.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
Shoutouts to Silver Arrows in the big chest.
Yeah, I saw that, I'm shaking my head over here because that was just mean of the game to do. But hey, random does mean things like that.
Hey, did you get the silvers out of my tower? Let me see. 26 out of 27? No, I don't. Thank you.
Yeah, not this time. Not with the comparison of Big Key and Big Chest. Yeah, that wasn't happening. Wouldn't have been worth it. And as Wes said in chat, who took over the restream, one last troll from the seed.
Yeah, the seed decided it wanted to give us a little bit of fun. Yeah, I mean, let's have a all dungeons seed that wasn't really an all dungeons. You didn't have to do Palace of Darkness, and you didn't have to do Well, yeah, you didn't have to do Palace of Darkness, but the other two Penta dungeons were required at some point. You had the bow in Thieves Town. You also had Green Pendant leading to the glove upgrade, and then you had beautiful West Side Swamp with another required item. This time being the ice rod.
Yeah, you found that one first. But yeah, bow in Thieves Town, in Pendant Thieves Town, no less. Kind of reminds me of yesterday for some reason, but that's a whole nother time. But I do have to ask, did that play into your decision to finish Thieves Town?
Well, yesterday definitely gave a little bit of it, plus the fact that it's Green Pendant and this being Map Compass Shuffle. It was a case of I got to finish what I'm started at this point, and the Green Pendant is making this even more lucrative. And I don't know what this seed wants me to do, but the fact that the other thing that came into play here was the fact that I did not have a glove upgrade at that point. So getting back to Thieves Town was going to be very, very annoying. So I had to finish what I started at that point.
Yeah, because at that point, it's about, what, a minute at least to get back there from Link's house? Yeah, can't say I believe.
Probably more closer to like a minute and a half, just based on how long it takes to start at Link's house, go into the portal, walk around, jump into the water, hook shot over, and just at that point without the boots. But obviously the boots were coming soon.
Yeah, thankfully they did come because bootless seeds, not the biggest fan of those, admittedly.
We had a bootless seed in game number 1. I'm glad to actually be able to run around a little bit, especially considering the fact that it was very much a good possibility that we were going to need the boots this time around, with the mirror being in the library.
Yeah, that definitely meant boots were probably required. In this case, they definitely were, as that led to the ice rod as finishing off Ganon, and the seed is Rascal with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 6 minutes, 43 seconds. Get your GGs in chat.
GG, everybody.
GG, Rascal.
Do you guys know what I did?
Okay, I'm curious.
I didn't know that I had the Quake medallion until I cleared Pod. Like, until I beat Helma at the end.
And Quake was the piece of the puzzle that opened up the remainder of the seed by way of the fire rod and mushroom.
Yeah, and at that point I was like, I screwed up. I better try to, if that is the right decision to pull Pet, I might as well go there as soon as possible. And that was not the
Yeah, I myself had yet to pull out the Cane of Samaria out of desert, so I'm like,
I almost forgot about. Like, I left the main part of desert without opening the big chest, and I didn't go back until after.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, that would have helped you out with the routing just a little bit.
Yeah, GG. It was fun but challenging.
This definitely was one of those weird kind of seats. This was full out weird, like tile room, big key, and then by the way, we're gonna put silvers in a spot that you're never going to check because nobody checks big key chest or the big chest. Yeah, did you get the silvers in my tower? It was in the big chest. I checked everything else. I was 26 out of 27.
Wednesday night, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, the odds of that location ever getting looked at in a randomizer seed outside of OpenGT is extremely low. I would say less than 1% of seeds ever go there.
Especially when the big key is in tile room, you're far away from that, and that's usually 22 out of 22 at that point as far as the big key guessing game is concerned.
Yeah, after making so many mistakes, I wish I had the guts to go straight tile room. Like, I thought about it, and I was like, I can't do it. I can't name that.
I was expecting you to finish. I mean, after I blind pulled the ped and finished off what turned out to be an absolutely unnecessary Palace of Darkness, I was so expecting to see a finish from you at some point in time, but it never came. I will say I am stunned the fact that we're going to a game 3.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm not sure if I'm gonna make any changes. MC Shuffle, I'm not as familiar with, but it's fun.
It's definitely interesting when you face off against a boss, and you don't know whether or not that boss is going to drop you a crystal or a pendant, as in the case of when I was in Swamp Palace. I never saw the map, so
I think it lets me feel better about making bad decisions.
Oh yeah, that does add to the fun of Map Compass Shuffle, in all honesty. And honestly, Map Compass Shuffle, I don't know about everybody else, and this would be something to ask at another time. How about adding Map Compass Shuffle into the daily races from time to time?
that's a discussion we can have at a later time. In the meanwhile, we got game number 3 coming up on Wednesday night. You think about it, watch the restream back, and let me know what you choose to do for game number 3. If you leave it alone, if you want to get rid of MC Shuffle, whatever the case might be, and we'll have some fun for game 3 Wednesday night.
Looking forward to it. I'm sorry I couldn't make things a little more.
On the contrary, it was pretty darn close, in all honesty. Like, it was maybe like one move away from being an insanely close race. And sometimes that's all it takes.
Like I said, if you didn't pull Ped and you stayed out of Palace of Darkness, you definitely had a leg up on me. And yeah, I mean, Tile Room being Tile Room is going to be a tough decision for somebody to check first time. I know we've seen some tournament races, both here and in the main tournament, where people check that first, but it's a tough one to make up when it turns out to be there. I mean, there are so many places where you could have saved up some time, and game 3 is going to be interesting. Good luck.
Let's speed it up.
Yeah, let's make it sub 2 hours this time.
3.
But yeah, GG's to you, and thanks for the restream, everybody, and we'll see you Wednesday night.
Gonna be looking forward to it, that's for sure, Rick. GG's to both you and Rascal. This has definitely been fun to be a part of, and first off, some shout outs to our original restreamer, Math Girl, as well as Westside Vandal, who stepped from commentary to restream duty, as well as the commentators for tonight, which included Tomotage 13, Ricky of Kokiri stepped in for a bit, as well as myself, but Ricky had to bounce out. But anyway, the point I'm trying to say is there's a lot of folks that deserve a follow after tonight. Our 2 runners, Rascal and Rick, they're the stars of the show. Also, if you feel so inclined, give our commentary crew for tonight, which overall included our Ricky of Kakiri, Westside Vandal, Tomotage 13, and Math Girl, as well as myself, if you all are so inclined. So that being said, for everybody that's been mentioned, I'm Leslie Crow. You guys have a good night, and we'll see you Wednesday for Game 3. One of these 2 runners is going to the semifinals. Who's it gonna be? Come on back Wednesday, because we'll find out then.